comes up from the waters. Jesus, come meet us and call us today out of these pages into our hearts. Spirit has spoken, sends us on our way.
A reading from the book of Romans. And those who are in the flesh cannot please God. But you are not in the flesh. You are in the Spirit, since the Spirit of God dwells in you. Anyone who does not have the Spirit of Christ does not belong to him. But if Christ is in you, though the body is dead because of sin, the Spirit is life because of righteousness. If the Spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead dwells in you, he who raised Christ from the dead will give you life to your mortal bodies, also through his Spirit that dwells in you. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
A reading from the Gospel according to John. All glory to you, O Lord.
Now a certain man was ill, Lazarus of Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. The sisters sent a message to Jesus, "Lord, he whom you love is ill." But when Jesus heard it, he said, "This illness does not lead to death. Rather, it's for God's glory, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it." Accordingly, though Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus, after having heard that Lazarus was ill, he stayed 2 days longer in the place where he was. Then, after this, he said to the disciples, "Let us go to Judea again." When Jesus arrived, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb 4 days. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him, while Mary stayed at home. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now, I know that God will give you whatever you ask of him." Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise again." Martha said to him, "I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day." Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me, even though they die, will live. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" She said to him, "Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one coming into the world." When Mary came where Jesus was and saw him, she knelt at his feet and said to him, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her also weeping, he was greatly disturbed in spirit and deeply moved. He said, "Where have you laid him?" And they said to him, "Lord, come and see." Jesus began to weep. So the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some of them said, "Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying?" Then Jesus, again greatly disturbed, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone was lying against it. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the sister of the dead man, said to him, "Lord, already there is a stench because he has been dead 4 days." Jesus said to her, "Did I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. And Jesus looked upward and said, "Father, I thank you for having heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I have said this for the sake of the crowd standing here, so that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said this, he cried with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" The dead man came out, his hands and feet bound with strips of cloth, and his face wrapped in a cloth. Jesus said to them, "Unbind him and let him go." Many of the Jews, therefore, who had come with Mary and had seen what Jesus did, believed in him. The word of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Hey guys, I'm Matt Stephanopoulos, and I'm here with the director of the brand new movie, the Lego Lazarus movie. You guys should have all seen it by far. Who hasn't? I'm here to ask you a few questions. Is that all right?
Sure, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing so good. I guess we'll just first start off with, why'd you make the thing?
Well, I wanted to, as Jesus says, we want to try and spread the good news out there. And this is one of those great stories in the Bible about just the love of God being poured out on people and actually raising people from the dead. So you really can't get much better than that.
Yeah, you really can't. Well, our audience texted in with a few questions about the film, didn't you guys? I've got you covered. You want to answer a few questions about the movie?
Sure, fire away.
Well, why didn't Jesus go to see his sick friend Lazarus when he called?
Well, that's the thing. See, if he would have went right away, he could have helped him and maybe kept his friend alive. And for most people, keeping your friend alive is probably a pretty good thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but Lazarus, he was sick for a while, and
but
Jesus
he didn't help him.
No, well, but it was a bigger plan. See, I wanted to make sure that he was dead. So
Ooh.
I know,
Ooh.
yeah. So we knew he was going to die. I want to make sure, because he was really, really sick. I want to make sure that he was not just dead, but really, really dead. So that when, through God's power, we're able to resurrect him, people would be able to see that. They'd see it as a real miracle, not just something that, maybe he was just sleeping or something in the tomb.
Those Lego guys were pretty amazed.
Well, they were. And quite frankly, I'd like a little shout out to my little Lego actors there. They did, with their little stiff arms, they did some great, kind of praising. They did some good amens with those things. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I guess one of the bigger questions people are asking about, how did he even raise him from the dead? That doesn't happen very often.
Well, that's where the gospel comes in, and that's where God's great mercy comes in. He using his power, he defeated death. If you think about it, what's the most scariest thing in? Yeah, it was like the scariest thing about living.
Mice.
Huh? Mice are scary. Bats are scary. Zombies are definitely scary. Bullies
Legos
are scary.
scarier.
Some Legos are scarier. Some are. Okay, but
Well, what's your point?
my point is, there's nothing scarier than death. That's what the biggest thing. I'm afraid to fall off
Mice.
something and die, or ingest a mouse or something and choke on that and die. So that was like the biggest thing everyone could be scared about. Most would be dying, and God shows us that is no problem for Him. Nothing to even be. Don't even be afraid of that, because He can raise you from the dead, and He will.
How are we
He's
not
promised
scared
that.
of death? That's scary.
It is, but we need to, if we relate ourselves better to God, if we build a better relationship with Him by praying, by doing good things for other people, doing His work, loving others, then little by little we get closer and closer to Him, and we get to build our trust with each other, and you get to a point, hopefully, where you trust God so much that nothing you will do will ever separate you from Him. And even when you die, you're going to live forever with Him. So, like, death doesn't even matter anymore. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Well, I got another question for you.
Hold on a second. I like your dogs, Matt.
They're my colleagues.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Well, I've got another question for you.
Yeah.
See, with the internet, there's all types of rumors going on about a possible next Lego movie created by you guys. Because, if you haven't heard already, Jesus got raised from the dead. Spoilers, sorry. That happened, though. Is there a possibility that by raising Lazarus from the dead in this movie of yours, you might be hinting at a second movie with Jesus?
We might see this again. I'm not going to lie. This Lazarus business is like a pre-story. It's like that trailer that's going to kind of grab some audiences there. And we might see a lot of the same things happening with Jesus, the star of this movie, who did an awesome job, by the way. Loved his arms, too. He has that little more range on his arms.
Arms are great, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anything else to add about your movie?
I just want another last shout out, I guess, is to all the support we got in the community here as we filmed this great movie. Hotel we stayed at was pretty awesome. Quite kind people there, and the breakfasts were awesome.
Breakfast were awesome. Guess what we had?
What'd you eat for breakfast?
Egos. Lego my ego.
That was
Yeah, Eggo
I'm gonna
waffles.
need
Yeah,
you to leave.
So, but
that was the worst
So-
joke I've ever heard.
stand by.
No!
Easter. That's a new movie.
Okay, wherever you are, that's the end of our time today. But I hope that you'll come back next week for more Children's Liturgy of the Word. And I can't wait until we gather in person again together. Bye.